Okay, here's some more poetry. These are three from another book that is unpublished. I called it MISH MASH, a little bit of all sorts. You can see the copyright date down there is 2008. So 12 years ago. MISH MASH means like a confused mixture of all sorts. So you could shove anything into here, books about, poems about all kinds of things. I'm going to read three today. I love alliteration, which means things all start with the same sound. So this one is based on my attempt at seeing how I could do with an alliterative poem. And I chose the p sound. It is called The Pink Plant's Undoing. Perfectly pretty Presley picked a pretty preposterous plant and placed it in her pocket and pedalled off to France. She plonked it down in Paris in a practically perfect park where she petted a plumed peacock until it was practically dark. A parakeet was perusing, pondering what to do, when it plucked the pink, precocious plant and promptly off it flew. Here's my silly little illustration, and you can see where I've already done some corrections because 2008 was the last time I probably read this book. And when I read it, before I read it today, I had some things I thought made it better. The second one was inspired to write a poem about for little kids, like preschoolers, to kind of explain all the parts of your body. And because at the time I wrote this, my niece was little, and her name is Charlotte, I called it Charlotte's Body. Charlotte has 2 ears, Charlotte has 1 nose, and on her 2 feet, Charlotte has 10 toes. Charlotte has 2 hands, Charlotte has 2 arms, and her lively personality is full of many charms. Charlotte has 1 brain, Charlotte has 2 eyes, and everything on Charlotte's body is just the right size. Charlotte has 2 lungs, Charlotte has 1 mouth. The top of her head is the north of her body. Her feet are at the south. Charlotte has many bones, Charlotte has many teeth, all working hard to keep her body healthy underneath. Charlotte has 2 shoulders, Charlotte has 1 head, and when she's very tired, she takes them off to bed. Charlotte has 1 neck, Charlotte has 2 shins. They help her to play soccer, at which she sometimes wins. Charlotte has 1 heart, Charlotte has 1 liver, and if she doesn't take good care of them, they'll make her body quiver. Charlotte has 2 kidneys, Charlotte has 1 skin, and all the important parts of her body are safe and sound within. And then I had the images of, obviously, an illustrator could do an awesome job with that. Each different page could have illustrations and show bits on the inside, and then some actual factual body things at the back. And then the last one today from this book, MISH MASH. You see how none of those have anything in common, and nor does this one. This is a Frankenstein one. Again, I love a bit of alliteration, so I started off calling it Famous Freaky Frankenstein. Famous Freaky Frankenstein got up out of bed, zipped on his arm, tied on his leg, and tightened up his head. It was his mother's birthday, so he had a lot to do, a cake to bake and a gift to buy, but what, he had no clue. He cycled to the shopping mall and left his bike outside. The people saw him coming and fled or ran to hide. He started with some chocolates in a fancy velvet box, and then he spied a nightgown and a pair of fluffy socks. He had the presents gift wrapped and began to cycle back. He stopped to get some flowers. He chose some tulips, black. He baked the cake with care from assorted bugs and dirt, then had a bath, washed his hair, and grabbed his favourite shirt. His mother was delighted when she saw her gifts and cake. She was so proud of Frankie and the effort he did make. She hugged him really hard. Her birthday was complete, until she saw dear Frankie's head rolling down the street. So she must have squeezed him a little bit too hard when she gave him a hug. All right, so that's the first 3 from MISH MASH. I'll be adding a few more to that unpublished book. Again, copyright me, Carol Conniff. Thanks for tuning in for some poems today. Have a great afternoon.